This is a test to show you once and for all, specifically, how to put this creamy white stuff on your nuts. Alright, welcome back folks. Thank you for tuning in. I did some filing on this nut, the slots, and the guitar sounds way better. Got rid of all the buzzing and where the string was leaving the nut on a couple of strings was funky. Got that fixed. The nut height is good, and I'm going to glue the nut in. But there's so much talk about people doing that wrong, man. And I'm going to loosen these strings, bring you over here, and show you the way I'll do it. Not just the way I'll do it, but the proper way to glue your nut in your guitar. So let's do it! Alright, let me explain this to you one last time. The nut is going to set in there just like that. That's the way I cut it to fit, okay? It'll set in there just like that. I'll zoom in closer here in a minute and show you more. But where you want to glue is that part of the nut that goes against the fretboard right here. You don't want to put glue down on the bottom and glue it to the guitar. You want to glue it to the fretboard. Glue it to the fretboard. Glue it to the fretboard, man. I can't seem to get that point across enough. And what I'm going to do, I'll show you as I do it. I'm going to put one drop, tiny drop of Type Bond. You can use CA glue or you know, any kind of glue that's good. Basically, one little tiny drop there, and set it on there and get it in the right place, get the squeeze out going and all that jazz. And you're going to need a wet cloth. That's something I got to go get. I forgot to get a wet cloth. Especially if you use this glue here. You don't need it so much if you use CA glue, but I don't like to glue the nut in with CA glue because, you know, like if you glue it like I told you, that end of it, you turn it around and you glue that in to the fretboard. Then if you ever need to knock that nut out, you can just put a block of wood against it and tap it. And, you know, if it was put in there right, it'll come out just slick as this white stuff. First thing you want to do is caress your nut before you put this slick stuff on it. Let me go get a wet paper towel and I'll come back and zoom in and we'll get into this. And I'll just show you very closely how to do it. By putting glue right in the center of the nut, pull your strings back like that. Actually, I've got a thing here. Maybe I should use. It just goes around the neck and holds the strings out of the way. Put it over there with that other one because I've been losing a lot of stuff lately. By putting it in the center of the nut and putting it on there, you're not going to get glue on your strings out here on the sides. There's not enough in there to run out that far. Alright, let me go get a rag. I'll come back and we'll get into it. Hold on. Alright, real quickly, let me tell you one more time. The nut's going to go in like that. We want the glue on this side of the nut. Down, you know, so it'll make contact with the fretboard. I got what I do with my wet cloth. I see it. Okay, so you just pull the nut out. And right there is where we want to glue it at. Okay. And I pull that bastard clear off of the glue bottle. Just about every time. Alright. Try to get you in the camera where you can see. Yep, take a fucking break. You would not believe what it took to get this little bastard. That fell down there and went right in the back of that Fender twin amp. Under a bunch of cords. Under the reverb sending unit, or the reverb unit. Wow. I've been a good 20 minutes getting it back. That's the way things are though when your hands are fucked up as mine is and you got to learn to live with it. Alright, this side, as I started to say, goes again the fretboard. If I can get it on here without shaking too bad. I want a little drop. Look at this shit, man. That's all the glue you need right there. I'll smear that just a little bit. That's going to go toward the fretboard. And get the strings out of the way. I want the bottom of that nut. I want to glue the strings down. I think that's what I'm trying to say. We got some squeeze out in there I got to get. I'll just do that right now with my wet rag. Should have done it before. Here we go. Gluing a nut in shouldn't is really in most people's lives it's not this hard. I mean, you don't have so many things to go wrong. I want to take a little screwdriver and just bump the bottom of the nut in, because there's a groove there. It went a groove it sets in there, and she's glued in, boys and gals. Make sure you get it centered up, you know, from side to side, because once it sets up, you're not going to be moving it anymore. Yeah, I could come up a little bit there. Could come a little bit more maybe. It's already starting to set up. Now, if you tighten the strings up before that glue sets up, you might pull it out of place. You can do it, I mean, but just be conscious of, you know, keep a finger up here. If you're going to tighten the strings up, keep a finger up here, you know, and because your strings is pulling that thing that way. And, you know, you don't want to move it. That's all I'm going to tighten them for right now. That puts good down pressure on the nut. Of course, you don't need down pressure. This little bit of glue up here, that's all we care about. Now, I could go ahead and tune it up right now. I'm going to give it a few minutes, though, before I do. And then I'll bring you back and show you how much better it sounds. I had to do a lot of work on those nut slots. I still need to maybe knock the top of the nut down a little bit. But she's coming together. It's looking good. I didn't know if you'd see this guitar again or not. And here we are. Well, I'm mighty going fishing. I got to thinking it over. But the road to the river is a mighty long way. A little deep thinking is gonna drive me to thinking. Hey, I'm taking it easy. It's my lazy day. Well, I can't play it, but you can hear it sounds way better. Already got it out of tune. What's happening, folks? Welcome back. I hope you'll excuse my singing. I sing, it's about like I use these anymore. Wow. That went clear down there when I dropped it in the back of that big heavy amp. I had to wrestle that amp all over the place out here. Dig around a bunch of crap in the bottom of it and finally found it, and then I couldn't pick it up. Wow, it's horrible. I'm gonna quit complaining about my hands, though. Let me show you under that light. That's what the nut looks like. And if you remember what a belly this thing had, I think I can't see the camera good, but it's flat, man. You go back and look at those old videos, what it looked like when we started. I don't know how long it'll stay flat though, you know. With had a loose brace in there, it's fixed. Dane Nichols, you said and somebody else, when I was tapping the guitar, you said you could hear a loose brace in there, and I didn't hear that, man, but you were right. However, whoever you were that said you could hear a loose brace on that tapping video of this guitar, you were correct. It had a loose one in it. It's all fixed now and set up, and just about as good as you're going to get it, I think. But I think I'm going to, you know, just tell my cousin, man, you might want to think about swapping that old girl off, because the whole, I don't know what I did with that piece of bridge plate. The piece I showed you in the last video of this guitar, okay? I showed it to you in there. I think I threw it away. There was another piece as big or bigger than that piece was. So all across where the bridge, where these bridge pins come through, is almost no bridge plate there. That's why the guitar bellied up to begin with, because the way someone drilled that. That's why it did that, because the bridge plate was just, they shoved it, you know, broke through it instead of drilling through it. They should have put a block in there of wood and drilled, you know, the pins holes into that block instead of just letting it rip out the other side of the bridge plate and did horrible damage to that bridge plate. And like I say, replacing the bridge plate probably would exceed the value of the guitar. It would if I fixed it. And I'm sure, you know, I try to do everything as cheap, especially for family, as I can. So I would just recommend that he, I know you probably got sentimental value for having it that long by now, but you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, you know what I mean? Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Ooh!